Hey everybody, so I'm going to play the countdown timer and then we're going to talk and get ready on this show, all right? So, hello. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Hola, como estas? What's poppin'? Ciao, what it do? Whatever language you speak. Hello, Donna. Long time no see. I want to say this because I know Ukraine is going through what they're going through, and Europe is going through their issues as well. And I want to, put out my prayers and my condolences to Ukraine. But I also want to add that it's interesting how when Europe is under scrutiny, under attack or anything, it's blistered across the media and a lot of people seem to have feelings and care for it. But when it comes to the Middle East, since my 29 years of being on Earth and since my parents' years of being on Earth and their grandparents, it's like we don't get the same sympathy, empathy from the media and from the people, right? And this is not me blaming the people. This is me blaming how the media, Democrat, Republican, has made Arabs look within my lifetime, within my parents' lifetime, and then within my parents' lifetime. So it's just interesting. And anytime Russia gets involved with anything, this country, United States of America, is literally just, I'm not going to say scared, but they're highly concerned of what they can do, right? Because there was one point in time when Russia wanted to take over parts of South Asia, or some people may consider Afghanistan, the Middle East, right? And Hillary Clinton allegedly worked with Islamists. When I say Islamist, I mean, allegedly people like the Taliban, ISIS, whatever, to take down Russia, right? And so it's like you're working with the enemy to take down the other enemy. But okay. So anytime Russia gets involved with anything, it's seen as a high regard to the United States of America, or just when any country is under high scrutiny, they just get this full-on like media coverage. The Middle East gets that media coverage. We just don't get the same empathy and sympathy like the people of Ukraine are getting, right? So, but whatever. That's just how it is and how I see it. And my condolences to them. So, anyways, Sherri Shepherd was on Watch What Happens Live the other day, and she had some words from Meghan McCain. I really don't blame her. I honestly don't blame Sherri Shepherd at all. Because if you guys do recall, Meghan McCain allegedly had her banned from The View. And simply how that came about is because it was another segment she did with Andy Cohen years ago, probably about 3 years ago, when Meghan McCain first started on The View around that time. And Andy Cohen asked her, what do you think about Meghan McCain on The View? And she goes, well, I think she needs to lighten up, something to that effect of. And she also said, I think she needs to not carry the Republican shoulder on her because she doesn't represent the Republican Party as a whole. And she's right. She doesn't represent the Republican Party as a whole. Meghan McCain doesn't, right? There's people who call themselves Republican that voted for Joe Biden, or that believe in wearing a mask and believe in getting the Rona shot and believe in civility and being principled and being basically country over party. So there are Republicans like that. So as soon as Sherri made that comment, y'all do remember Barbara Fredita. Now, this is not allegedly. This is factual. Barbara Fredita banned Sherri Shepherd from The View. And I always thought the reason why was because of the situation with Meghan McCain. and it's pretty evident. That's the reason, because the time frame of that happening was literally not too far. There wasn't no far deviation in the time frame from when Sherri Shepherd made that comment on Watch What Happens Live, and when Barbara Fredita decided to ban Sherri Shepherd from the show. And y'all, this was a long time. Sherri was not on The View for several years. She was not on The View for like 3-4 years, right? She had to go on to talk to promote her projects and stuff. So, anyways, she recently, again, but in a more comedic way, she was drinking. Andy Cohen basically asked her, you know, going back on The View like you did recently, what guests did you not like see? Did you not really like have that vibe with them and stuff? And she mentioned the McCain last name. She didn't say Meghan, but she kind of threw a little bit of a, I ain't gonna lie, it kind of sounded like a rap bar, like something that a rapper would say in a song. And, you know, it was kind of very clever and witty. I mean, I'd give her that. But she doesn't like need her right now. She doesn't need The View. She has her own show. So by her just saying something about Meghan McCain right now is not going to bash her from having a new talk show. Y'all do recall when she was invited back to the show, she was very civil and professional and nice with Meghan, because The View was simply the place where she got her biggest break, right? So you got to be nice, you got to be caring, you got to be nice to people, right? And so at least when you want to stay working, right? But this time with her having that talk show that she's having, in a way, sort of bashing Wendy Williams, in a way, not her fault, but the transition, she literally can just bash Meghan McCain without any default, right? So basically, the ratings on The View came out the other day. The ratings on The View came out the other day when Whoopi Goldberg was suspended. They lost a significant amount of viewers, in like the 100,000, maybe close to 200,000 viewers, because a lot of people were pissed off that Whoopi was suspended from the show. Now, I did say she was out of line for saying what she said. Honestly, you guys, when I was taught the Holocaust in school, it was never really, I don't recall them saying it was about race. I really don't recall. I honestly don't, because school really doesn't teach history like they're supposed to do. But I do remember Anne Frank. I do remember, of course, Hitler being talked about, but I don't remember it being talked about. But if you actually, just read his motives and his reasonings as to why he did what he did, it was about race, right? And so, and the host tried to defend her and tried to protect her from her comment, but she just kept going, because it's a lot of times it's Whoopi's word. It's Whoopi's word out of everybody else's word, right? And so by her not being on The View for about 2 weeks, because a lot of people were like, it hasn't been 2 weeks, but she got suspended, and she basically was off the show for 5 days for 2 weeks, right? So in TV terms, I guess that is 2 weeks, right? The show lost a lot of viewerships because of that, because a lot of people were pissed. A lot of people even said that they wanted her to quit. Like, if you go on the Shade Room, you can read the comments, and people were like, if I was her, I would like go on the show the next day and announce that I'm leaving, right? That I'm leaving the show. And so the ratings did horrible. Not as horrible, but they lost a lot of people. They lost a lot of people, right? They lost a lot of people. So, she's back on the show. She say a lot of stupid stuff. She do. She say a lot of stupid stuff, regardless if it's saying if someone that is white follows you in the store, a person of color, it's not racist, it's ignorant. The Roman Polanski situation about it's not rape. Defending Mel Gibson, which, I mean, for saying the N-word, but I guess I can see her point with that, because it's like she said Mel Gibson was in her home with her family and they know them personally, right? And so it's like, I need to know the context of the N-word and how he said it. I'm not sure what the context was, because there are people who do say that word. And in growing up, it was never an issue with the way I grew up, with that word being said of you, until hearing it now in the media. It's become like this media buzz for it to be an issue. But The Mel Gibson, I'll give her a pat on the back for that one because I'm not really sure the context of that one. But the Roman Polanski, the rape situation, it's not rape, okay? Saying you can't be followed in the store. If you're followed in the store, if you're a person of color, that's not racist, it's ignorant. No, it's both. It's racist and ignorant. So she said a lot of stupid stuff on the show. And so I think the suspension was within God's doing, right? I think God was like, I'm going to have to sit you down so you can come back to reality and remember where you came from and your roots and stuff. You basically took the last name Goldbergs to have this career to be represented by the Jewish community. Allegedly, that's why her mom told her to change her name to Goldberg. And because her real name does not sound Jewish enough. And then there's histories. If you read back in the archives, there's her saying that she is a Jewish woman, and she just basically just every couple of years or so, she keeps justifying that, either she's Jewish or she doesn't belong to a religious community and stuff like that. So, it's evident that, of course, her last name was because of the saying that Jews are the rulers, or like they are represented highly in the media industry. So, of course, that's why her last name is Goldbergs. That's why she made that last name, to brand herself within the Jewish community so she can get jobs. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Come on now. That's really obvious. Goldbergs. I mean, I didn't even think of Goldbergs being a last name is Jewish, right? But then again, the other days, like last year, I found out that Cohen is a Jewish last name, right? I didn't think of Cohen as a Jewish last name, right? So apparently it's a Jewish last name, right? Like there's a YouTuber on here. His last name is Cohen. He doesn't talk about what he said or nothing because he's obviously Jewish, and he just interviewed Joe Biden. I was just watching the clip of him interviewing Joe Biden, and he represents the Democratic Party. His YouTube channel is just simply just bashing Fox News and talking about how the Republicans are bad and Democrats are saints. And that's how he's winning in the industry, right? So, it is what it is. A lot of people, they're pissed off, they're mad. They're saying that Nene Leakes should be the one to replace Sherri Shepherd. I disagree. I think by Nene Leakes being on Bravo, a lot of editing goes on in Bravo where they make your personality or make your character either a villain or a good person. And in my opinion, I feel like they edit your personality. And so when I watch her on a talk show versus when I watch her on Bravo, I see two different people. It's often been said that she stole a lot of sayings and her personality traits from the gay community. She surrounds herself from a lot of gay people, and that's the reason why she came up with a lot of these sayings like "I said what I said," or "close your legs to married men." Although allegedly she's dating a married man from Africa. Oh, is he from Africa? Some married man that's been in the blog. She's dating, someone that's married. So I don't see her as a talk show host. At least I don't see her as someone that is solo. I see her on a panel. I don't see her as someone that can do a show on her own. At least not a talk show. I don't. I agreed with Wendy when she said that in terms of her having her own reality show. I didn't see like it. Look, then again, I don't watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just know what I know from watching her on different talk shows. But I never really seen her as someone that would host her own show. So I disagree on that. I don't think she should have her own talk show. Although she was supposed to have her own talk show years back with Debmar Mercury, the same production company Wendy's involved in. But, it was being said that Kevin Hunter shut that down and said it's either Wendy or Nene Leakes. And it's her deal with Debmar Mercury was retracted, and they ended up going with staying with Wendy, right? So she was supposed to have an opportunity to host her show because, by being on Real Housewives, her career was like her career went really well. Like a lot of people knew who she was, and she ended up doing a lot of acting on Glee and getting all these projects. She even went on tour like Wendy Williams and do a comedic tour. So she got a lot of jobs just by being on Bravo and using that as her main bread and butter to get other jobs. And so, but I don't see her. I really don't see her as having her own talk show. Do y'all see Nene Leakes as having her own talk show? I don't see that at all. Thank you, Donna. It's been a long time. I thought you left me, Donna. It's been a long time. I see you on other channels, but I thought, okay, you're being absent and silent. So the talk is doing well with ratings, better than they were doing before. Even when they had Sharon on the show, they added 2 men on that show. They added Jerry O'Connell, then they added a guy with an African name. His first name is Akbar. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's a former football player. And he's an acquaintance to Michael Strahan. And so, Jerry O'Connell is allegedly making more money than Cheryl Underwood. Jerry O'Connell is literally making, according to reports, $2 million a year, and Cheryl Underwood is only making $500,000 a year. That's what the reports are saying. So I find this to be, I would be mad if I was Cheryl and someone else is coming up and making $2 million a year for their first season. And I've been on this show for like over 10 years and I'm only making $500,000. That's a problem. Now it's a gender issue problem, and it's also a skin problem where it's like, people who are within the other, besides white, are often given the low end of the stick, and also women as well are often given the lower end of the stick than men. And so I would be pissed off if he's making $2 million a year and I'm making $500,000, which is good money still. I'd be mad. I'd be pissed off. Wouldn't y'all be pissed off? I'd be pissed off. I'd be mad. So their ratings are better since Sharon Osbourne hasn't been there because they did this shift. It was usually just women like hosting, right? And it's always been just women permanently hosting. But they made that switch last season after that situation with Sharon Osbourne. And so I'm hoping like other shows, I understand we got a lot of men shows. We got Jimmy Kimmel, we got Jimmy Fallon, we have all of these men shows out in the air. And so women needs to be acknowledged more. But I would like to see a different perspective. Like I would like to see a panel where there's men and women, besides the talk, like a show like The View. I would like to see them have men on that show, or at least someone younger with a different perspective than theirs. Because there's a lot of things that they say on that show that a younger person can educate them on. And Joy Behar got a lot of scrutiny the other day because she said, now, I have to wait 4 years to go to Italy, and, with the pandemic and with Trump in the White House, and now with this whole issue going on with Ukraine and in Europe, I can't go to Italy. Joy Behar she's leaving The View. This is her last season. And if y'all do recall, I've said this multiple times. White House, she said she wants to leave The View if Joe Biden is to be president. And in 2021. And so, 2021. It's been a year and some change now, right? So Joy Behar said if Biden wins, that she wants to retire and go to Italy. She possibly wants to retire, right? And so with him winning, there is a situation where she can possibly go to Italy. But now with the whole issue with Russia and Ukraine and Europe and everything, it's like now she can't go to Italy. And her saying that got a lot of scrutiny, a lot of backlash from media, because you have people that are in the military that's going out overseas to fight and defend, right? And while she's just sitting there being rich, making $1 million a year, and just sitting there saying, dang, I can't go to Italy now. I can't do that. And so I can understand the backlash. I can understand the lack of selfishness. Not lack of selfishness. I can understand the selfishness that she's saying by saying, well, no, I can't go to Italy because there's more problems in Europe. I have to wait for the pandemic, and then I have to wait for Trump to be not reelected. And now this whole situation with Europe. So I can definitely see where people are pissed off of that nature. But yeah, so if anybody want to come on, I did post a pin. If anybody want to come on and give any commentary about Sherri Shepherd or about yesterday's scenario about Wendy Williams. I understand today is Saturday, so a lot of people are out and about, either celebrating Mardi Gras or just out and about because it's the weekend. So it's not really a lot of people in here like as usual, like it was yesterday and the day before yesterday. But if anybody wants to come on and give me their commentary, if you haven't, follow me on Instagram. Appreciate it. I don't know why I didn't put the headline down here. Let me see. Right here, JOA_media. Super chats as well. Like I always tell y'all, it's always appreciated. And give me a thumbs up on this video. If you're new, I'd appreciate your subscription to this channel. I'd appreciate if you subscribe and you click the bell. I pray, man. I pray for Ukraine. I really do. I really do. I really do. I really do pray for Ukraine and stuff. But I just wish the same leverage that has been highlighted in the media and the same concern for people in Europe is also applied to people in the Middle East. But unfortunately, that's not the same because, part of my tax dollars go over there, which is why I agree with being fiscally conservative. Fiscally, because I don't believe my money should be going over there to fund war. I don't believe in that at all. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Hey, Patricia, how you doing? Patricia, you want to come on here before I get off and give me your commentary? Because you be leaving some comments. Kyle Rittenhouse, I want to make a comment about Kyle Rittenhouse real quick because supposedly he wants to sue Whoopi and he wants to sue Singh from the Young Turks and sue a lot of people. Kyle Rittenhouse did say there were, I think he said there were a couple of people that came forward to him privately and apologized. I don't know if they apologized publicly, but I mean, they pretty much said that they were wrong. They apologized about basically just listening to the media and not watching the trial and not watching what really happened. I understand that people are pissed off because, some people may compare and contrast. Well, if it was a person of color, they would be treated differently. I want to be fair regardless of what color that person is. What happened with Ahmaud Arbery, thank God those 3 people are facing a lifelong sentence. With Kyle Rittenhouse, I disagreed. Of course, a 17-year-old with a damn huge rifle. Like, what is a 17-year-old doing with a gun, period, right? I disagree with that. That's one thing I was like, he should be charged for that. And if they want to charge him for passing curfew, for passing curfew hours, they want to do that, that's okay. But then they also got to charge other people at the protests who are also rioting, looting, and who are also there, passing curfew hours. So one thing with me was the gun. The gun was the issue with me. Like, I just didn't like that he had a gun. I just, I didn't even like that he was over there, right? But there are situations where you do something stupid in life, right? Where you are making a mistake or you at the wrong place where you should not be. And then there's people out there who are just like you with the same motive, but maybe different intentions, right? Same motive, meaning they're there, they shouldn't be there, right? And there's people there that may represent the BLM movement, but they're burning down buildings or they're looting and they're causing a craze and stuff, right? So clearly when I watched the trial, I knew, like, okay, he's going to get off, right? I just don't like how politicized this trial has become. It's like the left wing is saying that he's innocent. I mean, the left wing is saying that he should be guilty and face jail time. The right wing is saying that, no, he's not guilty, right? And I agree with the right wing. He's not guilty. He's not. I agree. And I hate that it's political as instead of it not being seen as a trial. And when you are serving on a jury, you're told all the time, do not watch media. Do not watch anything media. Do not read newspapers. Don't watch TV. Don't talk about the trial because there's people with biased opinions based on race, based on gender, based on a narrative that the media has. And so I'm glad that the jurors can actually sit there and watch the trial and sit there and watch what's going on as they're sitting down on, in the trial courtroom and saw that this young boy is yes, he was at the wrong place, and yes, I disagree with him having a rifle and stuff, but it was clearly self-defense with what happened. Literally, one of the people that tried to that had a rifle to get Kyle, that was injured from Kyle shooting him, was on the stand and said that he pointed the rifle at his gun at Kyle. So what you gonna do when someone points a gun at you? You just gonna sit there? Oh, don't shoot me! You're not, right? More than alone. You're gonna defend yourself, right? So, innocent. I think I agree with 85% of the notion of the trial. I don't agree with him not being charged for the rifle, but then Wisconsin law says something differently. So if that's the law, then okay, that's the law, right? But I just wish that the media is not using this for clicks. MSNBC or whatever, they're not using this for clicks, or Tucker Carlson doing a damn documentary about it, and this man is being used as a hero for the Republican Party. But to be honest with y'all, if I was Kyle Rittenhouse and I had to go through what he went through, I would leverage off of this so much. I would so leverage off, and as he is doing now, he is forming ability company where he puts accountability on media, because there's a lot of people who are people of color and who are African American that are saying that this man is a murderer, right? He's not a murderer. He's not a murderer. If that's your concept of murdering, then I need to hear your same concept of military going overseas and actually murder. Now that's actual murder. A lot of innocent people get killed overseas by U.S. military. That's just being honest, right? So it's like people want to pick and choose what word to use, but no, he's not a murderer. It was self-defense. And I'm glad that the trial was not guilty. And I agree with the Republicans on that one. And I hate to say Republicans, because I'm usually, for the most part, Republicans are saying that he's not guilty and they're looking at the facts, versus Democrats, they're saying that he's guilty and they're just making this a racial thing instead of a factual issue, right? But anyways, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. Deuces.